What is up, people? So I am back with yet again another tier list, and this time I am going to be ranking every single COD multiplayer theme song. So how this is going to work is I'm basically going to play the theme song for around 30 seconds, and in particular with the theme song, I try to pick out the best moment within the theme song in order for it to kind of have like a fighting chance. And then after we give a little listen, I'll then explain it a little bit more and my opinions of it and what I think, and then I'll obviously put it in the tier list. And yeah, anyways, let's get going. So first up, it's Call of Duty 4. With this particular theme, it really tries to immerse you in the overall setting of COD 4. The tone just has this sort of menacing and depressing just sound to it. Especially when looking at the overall style of COD 4 in general, it's all just this depressing looking, just like kind of colors and stuff. And I think this theme song really fits well. And again, like I said, it immerses you. Also just kind of gives like the result of like a war, you kind of being active in duty. It just gives off that kind of, feeling. And with that, we started with an S tier. Next is Call of Duty World at War. The same idea applies to this theme right here as well. It really immerses you. Except this time, it's a more horrific sounding kind of theme. Especially with all the kind of missions that you do in the campaign is just brutal, crazy, it definitely fits. Just a terror, horrific, and traumatizing kind of theme. And this is definitely another S tier, no doubt. Next is Modern Warfare 2, the OG. Now this theme definitely did follow kind of the same footprints as COD 4 did, but I just think there's a little bit of a disconnect from this theme song, especially when you look at the game that Modern Warfare 2, the original, is. And I feel like there's also just something I think they could have added as like another instrument or something like that. But it still has a nice little undertone kind of thing going. It just doesn't hit quite as much as the previous two. Still really solid, just gonna have to give it an A tier. Next is Black Ops 1. Now this is what you call mastery. Overall, this has a more just like cool undertone kind of sound to it, but then when you add in that guitar from time to time, that's just the cherry on top. And in general, it's just a fun thing to just kind of pop your head a little bit as you're changing your classes as well. Beautiful all around, going at an S tier. Up next is Modern Warfare 3, also the classic. So this one definitely has that like more like main menu idle kind of sound to it. It does. But it just doesn't quite hit as the previous ones. There's nothing in it that kind of just like kind of makes it unique or kind of like make it stand out. Nothing. It just feels kind of generic. And its overall tone just kind of feels the same. I just don't think there's many instrumental changes. That gives it a more unique sounding to it overall. Solid, but not necessarily the greatest. I'll give it a solid B. Next is Black Ops 2. Yeah, for sure, this one they basically just cranked it up, going more of a dubstep kind of route, and it definitely works. It's just wanting to really just bop your head as the beats are going absolutely fucking crazy. So it just has more of the intense beats as it drops, just an all-around fun to listen kind of theme song. And I'm all for it, and have been. You can just really just sense the beats. Easy no-brainer. This is an S tier. I mean, come on. Up next is Call of Duty Ghosts. This one was really interesting. There's kind of like a low-key spookiness in some of like the tones, but also chilling as well. Especially the kind of visual style that Ghost is as well, it really fits along. It just kind of has that just stealthy sort of feel to it. This one was a bit of a surprise, I can't lie. Super, super solid. A tier. Next is Advanced Warfare. Not really gonna say much for this one. It's just boring, to be honest with you. I think I like the little like the wow noise. Kind of sounds like something, you know, more futuristic. But overall, it's just nothing memorable. It's just so boring. It just kind of just feels like I'm gonna fall asleep, really. Just mediocre all around. Easy C tier all day. Next is Black Ops 3. This team definitely has that sort of cybernetic kind of tone to it, especially with some of the overall like soundings and instrumentals that they did. It definitely has that kind of jabby sort of sense to it with certain beats. But unfortunately, I cannot put this at an S because I think in those moments where the beats drop, it just doesn't hit as well as some of the other Black Ops intros. It just doesn't have that kind of oomph that I expect, which is unfortunate. Would have been an S, but I'm demoting it down to an A, but it's a high A. Up next is Infinite Warfare. In terms of the overall sounding, it's pretty chilling, I will say. It's like an evil, chill kind of sound to it. But I'll be honest, this doesn't really fit so much for a main menu theme song, to be honest with you. This feels more just like a particular song that was chosen for a certain like mission or something. It's still decent sounding, I will give it that. Sounds interesting, but I don't think it really fits all that well. B tier. Cruising right along, next is COD World War II. So I'll say this one is another kind of generic one. It's a more heroic sounding theme, which is fine. I just think it's a bit more generic, but still enjoyable to hear whenever you load up the game and you hear that, so I'll at least give it that credit. Generic heroic, but it does sound nice and enjoyable. B tier. Up next is Black Ops 4. This one all around is just another really just solid one. Has a nice little undertoning sort of build up, and then once it gets to that build up and the bass drop with that guitar riff after that goes on for a while, it's just beautiful. It was executed well. And it definitely had that oomph factor. When the beat dropped and then going with that guitar riff, it was there. It was great to just bop your head as well with this one. Definite S tier for this one, for sure. Next is the infamous Modern Warfare 2019. Yeah, this one they definitely wanted to go back to those more serious sounding kind of theme. And it does that for sure. It just has this sort of brutal and grittiness sort of sound to it, alongside with menacing as well. It just kind of has like these swings with the instruments and beats that really just gives it with the kind of, you know, words that I was expressing. Just all around tense. That serious, realistic sounding is just right. S tier. Next is the underrated, in my opinion, Black Ops Cold War. I think at this point you guys definitely start to see the kind of potential favoritism I have with the particular theme songs of a certain series of games, but no, this one is a great balance. Still has just more of those fun sounding kind of beats as like the previous ones, but it definitely still added more of those unique kind of elements to it as well. Especially when it gets to the moments where the lady's like singing. Oh man, this one is definitely the most, like I said, the most fun, balanced theme song for sure. Great combination. This one's pretty addictive. S tier. Next is Vanguard. I mean, I do kind of like that sort of guitar riff that happens. It does sound nice, but there's nothing unique about it. It doesn't really fit as a main menu theme song. There's just nothing memorable or just fitting in general about this one. There's nothing else for me to say. Yeah, D tier. Nothing else to say. Move on. Next is Modern Warfare 2 2022. overall, it does sound interesting, and it does give me reminiscences of just the kind of like Modern Warfare sounds that you would get. But I can't lie, this one kind of just feels all over the place, to be honest with you. Like I said, it has recognizable kind of tones. I just don't feel like it's a consistent one. It just kind of just feels all over the place, and definitely not as unique as like previous ones. Interesting sounding moments, but not as good. See. Next is Modern Warfare 3 2023. I'll be completely honest, I feel the same exact way as with this one, as with the previous one. It just kind of has a similar tone to it. I don't really feel or hear that much of a difference per se. And I think because of that, I'm just gonna have to drop it lower, just one tier down, because yeah, it just kind of felt the same, and it's like they couldn't really get something else going. Not sure what they were doing with this one. Just yeah, D tier. And lastly, we ended with Black Ops 6. I mean, this is like if Black Ops 2 and Cold War basically just had a baby, and yeah, they just produced this theme song for BO6. This is definitely another one that just has that sort of nice balance of fun type beat, but as well more unique features as well added. I also do enjoy basically like the little switch ups as well as the song goes on. It's just incredibly addictive. S tier all day. So there you go. That is my entire tier list of all the different Call of Duty multiplayer theme songs, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.